Hello there, my name is Solmaz, and you are listening to Tabling Thoughts podcast. In this podcast, I talk about my experiences as a relationship coach and psychotherapist. The little things that I noticed in my clients' day to day lives, which may affect the quality of their lives and relationships enormously, and for some reasons, they don't pay that much of attention to them. As I mentioned, I'm a relationship coach and I also practice as a psychotherapist in Ontario, Canada. In order to get more information about me, you may check my Instagram account, YouTube, or my other podcasts via the links in description. This is the 30th episode of Tabling Thoughts podcast, which is released in May 2025, and we are going to dive into the unspoken reality of invisible work, the emotional labor and the mental load that often goes unnoticed but deeply impacts our relationships and well-being. Have you ever ended the day wondering why you're so tired? Even though you didn't do anything big, no heavy lifting, no emergency, just the usual. But still, you feel emotionally wiped out. Maybe it's because you were the one who comforted your child after a rough day, planned dinner while also thinking about next week's dentist appointment, and quietly held back your irritation while your partner didn't notice you were struggling. That right there is invisible work. And today, we are finally giving it a voice. What is invisible work? Let's break it into two categories. The first one, we could call it emotional labor. This is the constant act of managing your own emotions and the emotions of others. It can look like soothing your partner while they're anxious, even if you are tired yourself. Avoiding certain topics so you don't trigger conflict. Smiling and staying cheerful so the mood in the house doesn't drop. Being the peacemaker when your kids are arguing or when in-laws cross boundaries. For example, let's say you had a rough day, but when your partner comes home upset from work, you put your feelings aside to support them. No one told you to. You just know it's your role, right? The second category of this invisible work could be mental load. This is the invisible to-do list running in your head 24/7. It may include remembering that your kid has a school project due next week. Even if your partner helps build the volcano, you were the one who remembered it in the first place. Keeping track of the groceries, appointments, birthdays, vaccinations, school emails, and the emotional state of every family member. For example, you're making coffee, but in your head, you're also thinking, David has soccer tomorrow. I need to pack snacks. And the call to his dentist. Crap, milk is low. Did I reply to the school email? Meantime, your partner says, just relax, sit down. But how? When everything depends on your memory. While everyone can carry invisible work, culturally and globally, women, especially immigrant women, often carry a disproportionate amount, blending traditional expectations with modern life pressure. Now that we talked about the different aspects of the invisible work, let's talk about the signs which may identify you're doing this kind of invisible work. If you're listening and wondering, is it me? Here are the signs. The first sign is when you remember everything for everyone. You are the calendar of the family. You remind your partner about his mom's birthday and when he should buy the gift. You manage emotional climates. You anticipate your partner's moods and adjust accordingly. You avoid asking for help because you don't want to cause tension. You feel responsible for everyone's peace, but no one checks on yours. If the kids are melting down or the house is messy, you feel guilty. You never fully relax. Your brain is always on. You feel resentment, but it's hard to explain why. You love your partner or family, but sometimes you even get to the point to fantasizing about going to a hotel on your own for more than 2 days. You snap over small things, but it's not about the dishes. It's about carrying it all silently. Now let's talk about it. Why this kind of invisible work leads to burnout and disconnection. One reason could be the emotional burnout as the result of invisible work. When invisible work becomes chronic, you enter survival mode. You start to lose joy in your relationships, feel touch averse or emotionally distant, start forgetting things because your brain is overloaded. Then we will get to the point that this kind of unacknowledged labor creates resentment. When no one sees your effort, your inner dialogue becomes, why do I always have to be the one? This creates emotional distance and a slow erosion of connections. And then power imbalance sneaks in. Even in relationships that look equal on paper, same income, shared chores, the mental and emotional labor is rarely split equally unless consciously addressed. So, all being said, let's see how to name it and shift it. This is the most difficult part, right? Here is how to start creating change. The first step is name it out loud. Bring the invisible into the light. You can say, I've noticed that I carry a lot of things in my head for this family. Can we talk about that? This week, I feel like I have been managing everyone's stress but my own. The second step is use concrete language. Instead of saying, I'm overwhelmed, you can say, I'm holding the schedule for school, planning groceries, prepping for your mom's visit, and helping with homework. This is too much. And the third step is use tools to share the load. Shared calendars like Google Calendars, Apple Calendars, or mental load checklist. I love this one. And I have used it for myself and my clients a lot. You can even create one together tonight. Fourth step is create emotional reciprocity. Ask and model. How are you really? Encourage your partner to check on you too, emotionally, not just practically. And at the end, reflection and takeaways. So, my friends, all being said, invisible work doesn't show up in paychecks. It doesn't get applause. And sometimes it doesn't even get noticed by the people we love. But that doesn't mean it doesn't matter. If you have been holding the invisible strings on your family together, this is your reminder that you matter too. The glue needs care, not just gratitude. My good friends, if you have carried the weight of your relationships quietly, I would love to hear your story. DM me or share in the comments. Let's talk about the work we won't talk about. So, till next episode, take good care of yourself.